Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Weekly Dose with Dr. Ude. I have a special guest here today with me, and I'm very excited. We're going to be talking all about running. So before I get into what I have today, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Dr. Ude. I'm a board certified family medicine physician. I own a primary care practice and an aesthetic practice, and my goal is to have my patients not only feeling good, but looking good. All right, so I have Dr. Quirk here today with me. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks so much for having me. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, so let me let you know a little bit about Dr. Quirk. So she's a board certified pediatrician and a certified run coach with the Road Runners Club of America. She founded Mindful Marathon to help make running easy and fun for busy professionals using an informed, enjoyable, and effective approach. So very excited. Thank you.
Thanks so much again for having me. It's great to be here.
This is going to be a great talk. So I have a statement for you. Anyone can be a runner. Is that true or false?
I believe true.
Yeah. Tell us why. Awesome.
Yeah. I think, a lot of people hear that I'm a run coach, and I think that their minds go to, oh, she must have always been a runner or was always an athlete. And so I like to tell the story that, if I can do this, anybody can do this, because as a kid, I was the least likely person to become a runner. I really struggled. They used to make us run the mile in gym class and things like that. And I really struggled with it, huffed and puffed my way through all of those fitness tests. And I used to look at the track team and think that they were made of some sort of different genetics than I was, because I just couldn't do it. And so, I tried to run a lot of times. Like, I was very motivated to try it. And I had a lot of friends who were runners who seemed to love it. And so I kept trying and quitting and trying and quitting. And eventually, what stuck for me was just going about it in a different way. Like always, we're at the new year. We have a lot of people with New Year's resolutions, and they might go out and do what I did at the beginning, which was to try to go as far and as fast as possible, right? Like tie on my sneakers and just go. And then, you end up hurting and huffing and puffing and feeling bad. And if it doesn't feel good, you're not really motivated to stick with it. So what really helped me was to go about it in a slower way and just do a little bit at a time. And that's how I started. So I like to think if I can do it, anybody can do it. Truly.
That's cool, because a lot of people, including myself, can relate to that for sure. Yeah. So what would you say from your perspective are the benefits of running?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of physical benefits, which I think maybe most of us are familiar with, right? Like, it's a form of cardiovascular and aerobic exercise, and that does all of these wonderful things. It lowers our resting heart rate and our blood pressure and our cholesterol and all of these great health benefits. But I think what my runners say and what I have noticed is that I find I am much calmer and less anxious. I sleep better. I have more energy, like all of those things. And I think in some ways, that's what keeps me going out on the trail. It's not some number on the scale, or, I'm very happy that my blood pressure is low and that my resting heart rate is low, but I don't always pay attention to those numbers. It's more how I feel on a day-to-day basis.
Gotcha. Those are all really, and you're right. There are a lot of things that are tangible, but even the intangible things are as well. What would you say, from working with a lot of people on helping them to run, would you say are the obstacles people have to running? Yeah.
So many. I think number one, a lot of it is mindset and this thought that they can't do it or they can't be a runner. And maybe some past experience like I had, like, they tried it as a kid, or running was used as punishment in the sport that they were involved in. I have a lot of people who were, athletes in different sports across the board. And, whenever the team didn't do well, they were made to run. And so it's associated with a lot of negative stuff from the
From
past. So
okay.
I think, mindset is hurdle number one. And another one is really a lot of beginners get overwhelmed with gear, or like, what do I need? How do I get a pair of sneakers? And you can quickly like go down this rabbit hole and just never get out the door by, giving into all of that overwhelm. But the truth is, you don't need too much to run.
True. So, what would you say? What are tangible things that people can do, or actionable tips that people can use today to get started, get running?
Yeah, I think maybe let me give you three. I usually start with no gear, like you don't need anything but a pen and paper. Just think about your why. Like, think about why you want to get out there, and it doesn't have to be running, right? It could be any form of exercise. Again, with the new year, it's a great time to start a routine or get back into a routine that you had, but just write down for yourself so you can put it on your fridge or on your nightstand. Why are you doing it in the first place? And that might take, 5 minutes. It might take a half hour to really get down to it, but start there so that you have a powerful why that will keep you tying on your sneakers. So that'd be number one. Number two is sort of how to fit it in. So a lot of my people are physicians, they're busy professionals, they have full-time jobs and families and obligations. And it's like, where do I fit this in? And so what I like to do is, I still do this now. I look at my week ahead. So usually on the weekend, on Saturday or Sunday, I will take a look at my week ahead and write into my planner all of the things that I must do, right? So I'm a pediatrician. I have certain shifts that I work at the clinic. I have coaching calls with my athletes, phone call with my mom, etc. So I write all of those things in, and then I think, okay, for me, I'm a morning runner, I'm a morning exerciser. That might not work for you. Maybe you can get out at lunchtime for a walk, for a place to start, but write it on your planner, write it into your calendar. I use pen and paper. I also have a Google Calendar, whatever works. But if you put it on your calendar, it's much more likely to get done. And I would like to also say that a little goes a long way. So if you're starting from the couch, if you're starting from zero, it's fine, right? But don't think you want to go out and go for an hour. Maybe go out 10 minutes, 15 minutes to start, right? So that's how I have people write it into their schedule. It's much more likely to get done. And then third tip would be maybe getting a good pair of sneakers in terms of gear. So I laugh at this. My husband laughs at this. We say, running is a pretty cheap sport. You really just need some running sneakers. But of course, now talk to us after all of these destination races and flying all around and doing all these fun races everywhere. But really, when you start, invest in a good pair of sneakers. And so I would encourage you, if you have a running store in your town or in your city, it's a great place to start. A lot of my newer runners are scared to go to the store. And I would just remind you that all of us, everybody started from somewhere. And the people at the store are very knowledgeable in terms of, the brands and the type within the brand. So my favorite sneaker is not necessarily going to be what works best for you. Everybody has their running history or exercise history, injury history potentially. And so all of these things factor in. So in order to get a pair of sneakers, I would say for your first time, go to the store, get fitted for a good pair of shoes, and then off you go.
That is perfect. I really like the one where you said with scheduling it in, because that is literally the stuff that gets scheduled is the stuff that gets done. So that is amazing. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for all these amazing tips. So you guys have heard it from a professional. Anybody can. So get out there, because I'm always encouraging physical activity. And so if running is one of the ones that you want to get into this year, especially with the new start that we're all having, then please get to it. Now, Doc, I'm going to switch gears, and this is going to be more about you. Why do you do what you do?
Well, I think let me tell you just a little bit about why I ended up becoming a run coach, and that will tie into the why. So I started running more consistently about 10 years ago, right after my residency. So it was like a pretty tough time of transition, new job, newly married. my dad was diagnosed with cancer at the time. And so it was just a lot of stressors all at once. And this is when I decided, I'm kind of talking the talk, but not walking the walk with my patients in terms of taking care of myself and exercising and all of that. So that's why I started to run. And I got hooked very, very quickly. And I became a coach really to help others do what I did, because I just, again, I thought I was the least likely person, to be doing this. And I started bringing friends and family along on the journey. That's really how it started before there was any mindful marathon or coaching business, just bringing along friends and family, my mom, my mother-in-law. We've all done a lot of races together, and that's really how the coaching started. And now it has grown into this side business. And I've been able to cut back my clinical time as a pediatrician, which has really helped in the prevention of burnout, or really, I should say, in staying in clinical medicine and practicing medicine. So I feel like now it's hard to imagine one without the other. Mindful Marathon and coaching has really helped me to continue to stay in clinical medicine, which is important.
Practicing medicine the way you want.
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard it. So listen to Dr. Quirk. You can do it. Now, Dr. Quirk, if people are looking to look you up, get some more information, where can they find you?
Yeah, the best place is probably my website. You can find all of the other offshoots from there. It's mindful-marathon.com. And if you're really, if you're starting out, if you're a newer runner or you're trying to get back into the sport, there's a free workshop you can download that goes over again, like how to plan it into your schedule and the sneakers and all of that. It's a pretty short workshop that you can download and get started from there.
That is awesome. Thank you so, so much. I know my patients are going to benefit from
Yeah.
So everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And just for anybody that is looking for a quality primary care physician, we are accepting new patients at Apple Valley Family Medicine. Our phone number is 304-350-1087. And you can also find us online at www.applevalleyfamilymed.com. Give us a call and we'll be more than happy to help. Thank you so much again, Doc. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks so much for having me. Bye, everybody.
Bye.